and start recording. Okay, welcome Jen. So yeah, okay, now I think we've got a few people here, so we're just about to start. So I'll just I'm Rebecca, for those of you who haven't met me. Welcome to those of you who've been before, and welcome to those of you who haven't. So we're going to start off with a short meditation that's to help to bring us into the present moment, so to guide and focus, and to also think about what your intention is for the class. So just think about tuning into where you're at today, how your body's feeling, what kind of day have you had. You know, we're all bringing something with us from whatever we've been doing. So this meditation is just going to be very short, and it's just about grounding. So I invite you to lie down on the floor to begin with to do that, and I will put some music on, and then once we've meditated we'll move into some mobility, so warming up the body, and then we'll go into a yoga inspired workout, and then we'll finish with meditation and relaxation at the end. And again, I'll invite you to lie down on the floor, and you're all muted, so that's brilliant. But if you do need me, give me a wave. If you can't hear me or anything like that, just give me a little wave. If you need a modification at any point and you haven't mentioned any particular issues, again, just give me a wave. And what I would say above all is listen to your body. Don't push yourself. It's not about where you get to, it's about where your body's at and tuning into that. So I'm going to sit up, but I invite you to lie down and just giving your weight to the ground as much as you can. So welcome to people just arriving. So just lying down on the floor when you're ready. Taking in a deep breath down into the belly, into the lower abdomen. And just letting that go. And as you let go, just feeling the body sinking. Feeling the body surrender to this moment. Just allowing yourself to settle. Noticing any resistance to settling, any desire to be doing rather than just being, and just knowing that that's okay. Taking a breath in, and as you take this next in-breath, holding that sense of fullness. So breathing in, feeling the fullness in the body, and slowly letting the breath out. So doing that as slowly as you can. And silently asking yourself how you are. So maybe even just saying, oh, how am I? And if you were to give a really good friend an honest answer in 3 words, what would they be? You don't need to search for an answer, just allow whatever words arise to arise in your mind. And it's fine if it's stressed, or tired, or excited, or concerned. Anything you feel is absolutely fine. It might not feel pleasant, or it might feel pleasurable. So just seeing if you can give space to whatever you're feeling. Just saying yes to your experience. And setting an intention for this class this evening. Perhaps your intention is to relax. Perhaps you feel like you've been a bit hunched over today and you want to stretch. Perhaps you want some space. So just tuning into what your needs are right now and settling in, setting your intention. Perhaps finding a word or phrase and letting that drop into your consciousness. Letting it dissolve and be absorbed by your consciousness. And focusing again on the breathing, just finding a rhythm of breathing that feels soothing and relaxing. And beginning to move the fingers and toes now. Maybe stretching the arms and the legs, moving the body in whatever way feels good. Just listening to the body and sensing how it would like to move, and gradually turning that movement so that you come to a seated position. So in our seated position, we're going to have the chest open and the shoulders back down and relaxed. Allowing a gentle smile to arrive on the face. And taking 3 deep breaths here, trying to be conscious of each breath from the moment it arrives, perhaps on the nostrils, as it travels into the body and leaves the body warm through your nose or your mouth. And 2 more breaths here. Making your way onto your hands and knees now. And yes, we're going to do cat-cow. So we bring our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees beneath our hips. And you get your face tickled by a cat's tail if you're lucky in this pose. So we breathe in and look up to the ceiling, arching the back, so tipping the tailbone upwards. Breathe in and breathe out to take your gaze through your knees and push your hands into the ground, so stretching out the shoulders and the spine. Breathing in to look up and arch the back. Breathing out to follow the gaze down along the mat and through your knees, so lifting the belly up towards the spine. We're going to do that 2 more times, so breathing in and breathing out, rounding the spine, so just bringing some mobility into the spine. 1 more time, breathing in, looking up, and breathing out, coming down. Allowing the spine to come to a neutral position. And we're going to challenge our core stability here a bit and warm up the shoulders and the hips a little. So we're going to just lift up the one leg and one arm in opposite directions. So we're going to do this 4 times on each side. So try and do this with the breath if you can. So breathing in and breathe out to return. The same on the other side. Keeping this nice and slow as we're just warming up. We're settling into the body. And perhaps noticing any desire to do this more quickly. Stretching out. Once you get to this position, see if you can stretch out the arm and the leg as far apart from each other as feels good. So we're feeling a nice stretch in the body there. Oh, I've been marking today, so this feels really lovely for my back. Hopefully it feels good for you too. So just 1 more on this side. And breathing out to come back to all 4s. And then sitting your bottom back down to your heels. Bringing your palms face up by your feet or your ankles or your calves, and just letting your forehead rest on the ground. This is child's pose, Balasana, and you can come back to this position at any point during the class that you like if you need a little rest, if you need a break, if you need a comforting, relaxing position. This is where you can always return to. Stretching the arms out in front of you now, so giving your shoulders a nice stretch. Perhaps feeling that down the sides of the shoulders. And now we're going to press into the hands and untuck the toes and push up into downward facing dog. And we're going to take each heel in turn and press it towards the floor. So we keep pressing into the hands and we're lifting the hips upwards and pedaling the feet. So we're pedaling, taking it in turns, and you can do this slowly or you can do it a bit faster. If you do it slowly, you'll really feel that stretch in the hamstrings. And feel free to move around in this position as you'd like, so bending the knees, moving the hips, swaying from side to side, allowing the hips to rock. So just tuning in here, we're just warming up and mobilising the body. And then walking your feet in, almost towards your hands, so that we're just in a forward fold position. And then from your lowest vertebra, from your hips, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time, keeping your hands close to your legs. And your head should be the last thing to come up. So keeping your chin to your chest, rolling your shoulders back and down. So we're now going to do a bit of standing Tai Chi style movement. I'm going to move my cushion out the way. So we're going to begin by taking the palms up and the foot forward, stretching out, and then bringing the palms together and the leg back, and palms down, legs together. And we're going to synchronise the breath as well. So we breathe in and out. And you can imagine that your hands are transferring energy, so feel what's called chi. Once more on each side. So focus on keeping the spine nice and long, so we're slow, dignified, relaxed, but also alert. And then we're going to come to a wider position, so we're going to sink and move to the side. So we sink and move to the side, so we're stretching out our inner thighs here and reaching up with one set of arms with our arms, and reaching away in the opposite direction with the leg. So you can do this in your own time. You might want to do it to the music, or if that's too fast, you can do it as slowly as you like. One more each side, and we're going to come back to a little progression on what we were doing before. That's it, stretch those thighs out. Lovely stretch on the inner thigh. That's it, back to feet hip width apart, and this time you have the option to lift up the knee and come out to challenge your balance a little, and then come back in. Just a reminder of where we were before, which is the leg forward and out, and then back and in. So you do what works for you. You can test your balance, or you can stay grounded. And as you do this, remember to try and synchronise your breathing. So breathing in and out. In and out. Feel the hips, the pelvis starting to get warm now. Let's do one more of these each side. Feel your core switching on. I'm going to be using the core throughout the class. So this is a bit of a secret toning for your core here. We're going to go back now to this exercise, and this time we're going to lift off. So we press out and lift off. So pointing that back toe, or stay grounded if you wish. If you want more, you can even come up onto a tiptoe. So just choose where you want to be here and do this at your own rhythm for your body tonight. Remember, you can always stay grounded. So we're looking for the grace in this movement. Grace and strength. Do 2 more each side. And coming back to our standing position. Have a little sip of water if you need to. I encourage you to drink throughout the class. Have a little sip whenever you need to. We're going to move into our flow part of the class now. So we're going to do a flow, and we're going to do it 4 times in total, twice on each side. And it's time for my leg warmers to come off, so I'm definitely warm now. Are you all doing okay? You can give me a thumbs up if you're okay. Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to come to the top of the mat. So the front edge of the long part of your mat. Well, facing the short part of your mat. And we're going to come into mountain pose. So we have our feet, if I show you this way, feet hip width apart and our palms open, shoulders back and down with our shoulder blades slightly pulled together. So it's all about balance. We're allowing the heart to be open. We're pulling the shoulder blades back and down, but we're not forcing them. We're allowing them to rest there. Micro bend in the knees. Tuck the tailbone in slightly and see if that helps to ease off any lower back tension that you might be carrying. Lovely. So we're going to breathe up. Placing our palms of our hands together and folded hands. Bend the knees slightly and just slightly bending back, so just a little back bend here. And as you breathe out, coming into intense pose. I'm just going to tuck this in so you can see a little bit better. So what we're looking for here is the knees to be bent and the back to not be arching. So checking that your back isn't arching. We're looking for a straight line here with the ears by the shoulders. This is sometimes called intense pose. So breathe in here and see if you can sink a little bit lower, keeping that tailbone tucked in. That's it, looking good. It's also called chair pose. And breathing out on your next out breath, folding down. Take your feet to hip width apart here. Allow the knees to bend slightly. And allow the lower back to release, allow the shoulders to release, the head to relax. Breathe in here and take one leg back and step the other leg back. So we're coming into a plank position. Take the knees down, untuck the toes and bend the arms. So we're coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana, crocodile pose. So we're going to breathe in here and breathe out to roll the shoulder blades back and down. So we're rolling our shoulder blades into our back pockets, giving the buttocks a little squeeze. So we're squeezing the back body and lifting up, opening the heart here. This is baby cobra. Taking 2 deep breaths here. On your next out breath, tuck in your toes, push through your hands and come back into downward facing dog. So pressing in through the fingers, so spreading out the fingers there. Pressing the heel down on the back foot. And with the front leg, just acknowledge it and then lifting it up in the air, three-legged dog. And once you've lifted it, bend the leg so that your foot comes to the direction of your opposite shoulder. Try not to twist the hips here and keep them square. And try to keep pressing down equally between both hands. Now if this isn't for you today, you can stay in downward dog here. If you're in three-legged dog, this is a lovely hip opening exercise. So now look between your hands and step that lifted leg through between them. So it doesn't matter which kind of dog you are in there, you can just step that front leg forward. Place the knee down, so placing the back knee down and opening up, so stretching the arm up and looking up towards the hand or looking down towards the floor if that's better for your neck. So feeling this lovely spinal twist, and this knee here, this front knee, just pulling it in slightly, seeing if you can give your hip adductors, the muscles on the inside of your leg and your groin, a little squeeze to bring that leg in. Breathe in here, breathe out to place the hand back down. Lift the back knee and prepare to step into forward fold. Breathe in to come to extended mountain pose. Breathe out to come back into baby back bend. Breathe in here and breathe out to come back into our chair pose. So tucking the tailbone in, I can feel that my back is arching as I do this. So tucking the tailbone under. So that might also look like bringing the hips forward slightly. So tilting the hips away from the back of the body. And I invite you to take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, see if you can sit down into that chair a little bit lower. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, coming into forward fold again. Stepping back into plank, so we're going to slightly go a little bit quicker here. You can choose knees or toes. We're going to float back down to chaturanga, so acknowledge your abs, acknowledge your buttocks, breathe in and float down either from your knees or from your toes. So if you're on your toes, hovering here as long as you can and breathing up into upward facing dog or cobra. So cobra, we have our hips on the ground. Upward facing dog, we're lifting the upper thighs as well, so we're really engaging the back body. And the important thing is here to have the shoulders back and down and to open the heart. Tucking the toes and flowing back to downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, hips lifted. Pressing the heels towards the floor. And if this is too intense for you, just a slight bend in the knees can really help. And if you need to come into child's pose, if you've got any back problems or little niggles at all, do come into child's pose. So here again, we're going to lift the back leg. So we did the front leg last time, and this time we lift the back leg, trying to keep those legs square if you can. You can help to do that by pressing equally into the hands, pressing the heel down and bending that leg. So we're moving the foot in the direction of the elbow. If you're in downward facing dog, without the leg lifted, that's absolutely fine. So from wherever you are, look between your hands and step that back leg through and drop the knee. So we can keep the toes curled under here. Give the foot a bit of a stretch and breathe in here. Lift the heart. As you breathe out, turn towards the back and lift up that arm. Stretching down, you should feel a nice stretch on the inner thigh here. Squeeze that hip adductor on the inside in the groin and stretch up to the ceiling. Looking good. Okay, on your next out breath, place the hand down, untuck the toes and step back to forward fold. Breathe in to rise. Breathe out to come into a baby back bend. So we squeeze the glutes here to protect and support the back. Breathing out to sink down into intense pose, tailbone tucked in, shoulders relaxed and arms by the ears. So again, it's about that balance of strength and relaxation at the same time. This time you should really be feeling it in the legs. So breathe in, breathe into the legs and breathe out, sink down into them, sit back down into that chair. Hello quads, hello glutes. If you want more here, you can lift up onto your toes and you'll really feel it in the legs. But this is about relaxation as well as strength, so do what your body wants to do today. Okay, lowering down the heels if they were lifted and coming back down into forward fold, just feeling the release there. Now we're going to make our way back to plank, so stepping or jumping into plank, engaging the core, engaging the glutes. Take a breath in here and floating down, knees or toes, to chaturanga, and breathing up to up dog, cobra or baby cobra. Shoulders back and down, chest open. Breathing in here and exhale to downward facing dog. Pushing through the palms, acknowledging the front leg as you lift it up and bend it. If you're staying where you are, then you can still focus on lifting the hips and maybe pedaling the feet to help to get the heels closer to the floor. If you're in three-legged dog, focus on squaring the hips so that you're not twisting, but at the same time opening that front hip. So pushing through the hands equally and pushing through the standing foot. Okay, looking through the hands wherever you are and stepping your foot in between the hands. So here you can place the knee down, or you can keep it lifted in a higher lunge. We're going to twist to the front. If you've got your back knee up, you can press down a little bit, or you can let gravity take the weight a bit more, and that's going to stretch your inner thighs. You can always put the knee down, it's absolutely fine. Breathe out and bring the hand back down. Lifting up the toes. Breathe in and breathe out to come back to forward fold. So just exhale, inhale, one more deep exhale, letting go. And inhale to lift the body. Exhale, baby back bend. Inhale here, exhale to our last chair pose. So you can have the feet together here, or you can have them slightly apart. It's more back friendly if you have them slightly apart. So remembering shoulders down, inner arms, so biceps by your ears. Breathe in here, check that tailbone's tucked in and sink down if you can. This is the last one. So feeling that lovely toning sensation in your quads. Again, lifting the toes if you want more, staying where you are if you don't. Okay, breathing out and making your way down to forward fold, just hanging out here. Oh, big exhale, sighing out that breath. And then once more, choosing whether to jump or step back to plank position. Engaging the core muscles. So hands under shoulders, abs switched on, glutes switched on. Breath in here and float down, so elbows by ribs, and breathe in. Breathe out. So opening the heart, remembering to breathe. Tucking the toes under and pushing back to downward facing dog. So pressing the arms to the back, to the legs, lifting the hips, heels towards the ground, and lifting the back leg if you're coming to three-legged dog with me, bending that leg and inviting that foot to the direction of the shoulder. So pressing into the hands equally, pressing down into the heels, so you should feel that in the shoulders, in the groin, in the hamstrings, that hip opening. Breathe in, look towards your hands, and breathe out to place that foot in between your hands, help it if it needs it. So breathe in here, knee up or down. We're twisting to the back of the room, stretching our fingers up to the sky. If you're in this position, letting the hips sink down a little if you can, if you want to. And placing the hand back down on the ground. So now we're going to turn our feet. So we are in a wide-legged stance. I'm just going to have a sip of water. So we've got a really wide stance here. Feet to the corners of the mat. Bum tucked in. Chest nice and open. Shoulders open. Feeling the glory of this moment. This is a precursor because we're going to do warrior squat soon, or goddess squat. But before we do that, we're going to bend forward, so tipping from the hip, taking our arms out in front of us, so we've got a flat back here, and then lowering your hands to wherever feels good. Now if you need to, you can grab something. Feel free to come out this pose if you want to grab something to put your head on. That's absolutely fine. Or you can have your head on the floor or be supported by your arms. So whatever feels good. So you should feel this in the hamstrings. And if you push your butt to the back of the room, then you'll get even more of a stretch. So just breathing here, nice deep breath in, and exhale, let go. Micro bend in the knees if you need it. And when you're ready, taking your hands on your hips or thighs, bend the knees slightly and making your way to a standing position. So just checking that your feet are pointing to the corners of your mat. Placing your hands on your hips, rolling your shoulders back and down. Breathing your arms out so that they are with the palms down. Sink down, so knees in the same direction as your toes, so we're pressing the thighs out here. This is a great stretch for the hip adductors, for the groin. So our palms are out, facing down. We turn them facing upwards and then bend them. So we've got a cactus pose, and then take the palms and face them to the front. This is goddess pose, so you can channel your inner goddess, your powerful feminine energy. So breathe in here, and as you breathe out, see if you can sink a little lower. So each time you take a deep breath in, feel yourself lighter, and each time you breathe out, feel yourself sinking lower if you can. So we're going to stay here for another few breaths. Keep pushing the knees out. This is a fantastic toning exercise for your lower body, and it is beautifully toning for the mind. So with your gaze, you're looking out towards the horizon now. So you're looking off to the distance. You should start to feel it now. And see if you can stay here. This goddess pose. Bringing the shoulder blades a little closer together. Keep breathing here. This is good for releasing repressed anger So this gets us, our legs a bit hot, tones them. It's great for the mind and the emotions. Okay, breathing out to release upwards. We're not done with the legs yet, I'm afraid. We've got more warrior poses to come. So take one foot, so take this foot here and make the foot parallel with the edge of the mat and turn the toes towards the other edge of the mat. So hips staying the same width apart, so really wide, because the biggest thing that we can do to not look after our knees here is to have our feet too close together. So it's better to be wider and not go down too low than to have our legs closer together. So we breathe our arms out again, allowing the shoulders to relax. Bend this knee. So we're bending the knee so it's at a right angle. The thigh should be at a right angle to the lower leg. And we breathe in here, check that our torso is facing the front, and breathe out to sink a bit lower. And turn your gaze to your fingertips and look out over them. Breathing here. Another deep breath in and breath out, seeing if you can go a little bit lower. Breathe in, and on your next out breath, we're going to revolve to Exalted Warrior. So you can have your arm down here, or you can rest it on your back leg. So we're going to get this lovely crescent shape in the spine. So we're stretching the back and the side of the body here. Sinking back down again. Pressing that knee out. Breath in here, and as you breathe out, straightening the body. We're going to turn the feet, so we've got this leg parallel to this side and this one facing the other direction. So breathe in here and breathe out over this knee here. Checking that the torso is facing the front, looking out, getting our gaze over our fingertips. Big breath in and sink down into this pose. Keep looking at your fingertips, letting the shoulders be relaxed, the arms stretching out away from each other. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. And on your next in-breath, prepare to revolve as you breathe out, coming to the other side. Keeping that knee pressing out over the toes. Feeling that lovely stretch in the back. And straightening the leg, we're going to change to the other side again. Stretch your arms out again. Breathe in and prepare to sink down. So engage in the core, engage in the legs, pressing into the outer edge of your back foot. Right angle in the knee, pressing the knee out over the little toes. And here we can extend the warrior. So we can take this hand down here, or down to the ground, and reach over with the top. And then open up that top arm. So if you've got the arm here, opening it up. So open up the armpit, and you can look up or you can look down, it's up to you. And letting the hips sink. So in this position we can let the hips sink a little bit lower. Breathing. And on the next out breath, revolving back to our exalted Sun Warrior. And changing sides, so breathing out to come out, change the direction of the feet. This is the last time. Breathing out, really feeling the energy of this pose here. Sinking down, knee over toes, pressing in that back foot, so acknowledging the back leg, acknowledging the strength of the body. Sinking down a bit lower. Another breath in, another sink down. Breathe in again and extend your warrior. Open up that top arm. Breathe. And as you exhale, coming back, revolving back to exalted warrior. Seeing if you can sink back down into the leg. C-shaping the spine. Inhale and exhale to come out. Oh, and you can give your legs a really good shake now. You can just shake off the body. And if you really need a shake, we can do a nice insect or jelly wobble on the floor. Just let the legs go. Oh. I like a nice jelly wobble. My body's good at that. Have some water if you like. So now, it's Mum's favourite, we're going to do our balance track. So for those of you who've been doing this, I know that you're all getting better at this. For those of you who are new to balance, if you haven't done it before, don't worry, because it can be a bit tricky to start with. But the more still your mind, the more easy it is to balance, or the easier it is to balance. So it's a bit about core strength, it's a bit about practice and coordination, and it's a bit about just not worrying what happens. But I do say, if you have any prime minister fractures or breakages, for example, if you're of menopausal age or something like that, you're more prone to osteoporosis. I was thinking fibromyalgia then, osteoporosis, then you might want to make sure you've got a soft landing. And feel free to get a wall or a chair or something to lean on, and that's just as good as doing it without. So we start off by standing in one position. In fact, I'm going to stand back here. So we stand in one position with our feet hip width apart, our shoulders back and down, slight bend in the knees, tuck the tailbone in slightly. Make sure you're not hunched though, so chest nice and open. And acknowledge one of your legs and begin to transfer the weight into that leg. And then when you're ready, lift your other leg up and give the knee a hug. So again, I recommend walls and chairs if you haven't done this before, or if you're not totally confident in your balance. And then we're going to take the arm out as a counterbalance and bring the leg out to the side. And then we're going to slide our hand down to the ankle. So if you can see here, this is a bit like dancer pose, but it's on the horizontal plane instead. So it's like the same, your legs should be parallel. I'll hop this way and show you. Our legs should be parallel with the ground rather than twisted. So we revolve around, this is flower pose. And then we sweep the arms back and straighten the leg, and we come into diving warrior 3. And if you need to touch down at any point, that's fine, so come down when you're ready. This time I'm going to show you on the other side from a side facing position. So we bring the knee into the chest, give it a nice hug. We bring it out to the side. Take the ankle and take the leg, so we're revolving around, bending the knee and leaning forward slightly. And then we're going to sweep the arms back and take the leg straight out behind us, diving forwards and coming down. So this is challenging, so don't worry if you find this difficult. Come down, start again, start from wherever you like, hold on to something, it's all good. So let's do that again. We're going to do it 3 more times on each side. So lifting up the leg you started on, be rounding the spine here, giving it a big hug. That'll feel really nice in the spine. Then open up, revolve into flower pose, and sweeping the arms and the leg back. Don't worry if you wobble, that's good. Means your body's doing its job, trying to stop you falling over, and landing when you're ready. Okay, same on the other side. Acknowledge this leg and give the other one a nice hug. Just seeing if you can round the spine a bit here. Give it a bit of a release. And then we're going to open up here. It's like an opening bud. Chest open. Taking the ankle and revolving around. And I promise you this gets easier the more you do it. I promise you that or your money back. And then sweeping the arms and the leg behind you. We're going to try that once more, so coming down when you're ready. We try that once more with hands, and the final time we're going to let go. We're going to fly. So breathing in, I'm going to do this a little bit quicker this time. Breathing out, coming around with our flower, and diving down with our warrior three. Ooh. And wobbling if we need to. And landing. Other side. Hugging the knee. I'm wobbling at that stage now. Opening out. Revolving into flower pose. And coming into diver pose. And this will begin to feel flowing as you get to know the moves. So landing if you haven't. This time no hands, so we're a hands-free device now. So we breathe the arms and the leg up, and then we breathe them open. Does this feel familiar? And then we revolve around into flower pose, no hands if you can. And we straighten out the leg and sweep back the legs. The arms even. Landing back down. Let's do that one more time on the other side, no hands if you can. So breathing in and out, flower pose, and finally sweeping the arms and the leg back. It's usually one side that's a bit better at balancing than the other. And coming down to land. Oh, having a sip of water and a shake if you like. We're going to come down to the ground now. So making your way to the ground when you're ready. Well done, you all did really well there. I'm just going to change my camera angle a bit so I'm more focused on the floor. Okay, so we're now going to come into a lying down position again. So no need to balance here. So just rolling yourself down if you can. Rolling your spine down. Giving a little massage as you roll down. Bring your feet in towards your glutes. Your feet close to your bum. And take your hands and clasp them underneath your buttocks. Now try to make good contact with the heads of your shoulders and the ground. And I want you to think about, as you're lifting up, because we're going to lift up into a shoulder bridge, I want you to think about keeping your knees together. So in fact, if you have got a cushion or something that you could put between your knees, that might actually be a little bit helpful. Don't worry if not, you can just squeeze your knees together. So what we're going to do is just breathe up. So we breathe in and breathe and lift our hips up. So the important thing is here, rather than squeezing the glutes, we did a Pilates style shoulder bridge before, we're doing a yoga style bridge today. So we're really focusing on opening the heart, so focusing on lifting the sternum rather than focusing the hips. So that means focusing on lifting the chest up and thinking about having an open heart. So you can actually let the glutes relax a little bit here, but bring the knees in together. Make sure that your feet aren't pointing out towards the corners of the mat. And when you breathe out next, lowering down, starting with the ribs, and then the lower back, and finally the hips and then the tailbone. Okay, so we're going to come into Uttanasana now, which just means bringing your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Now, I did know this in the past, but I remembered this, I reread this week, that this pose, Uttanasana, means wind relieving pose, which did make me laugh. So if you have any trapped wind, this is a good pose for that, as long as you're not sharing a room with lots of other people. Okay, so let's do another bridge pose. We're going to do that one more time. So bringing your heels towards your butt. Maybe wriggling your shoulders a little bit to get them in good contact with the mat. Lifting your bum up slightly, clasping your hands underneath. Making just checking the alignment of your heels. So your heels should be like hip distance apart. And when you're ready, breathe in and breathe out to lift up. And get the shoulder heads towards the ground if you can, and focus on opening the chest. So breathe in, squeeze the knees together a bit. Let the bum relax just a little bit here. It's not completely. But in fact, if you do need to, you can actually sacrifice the height of the hips to open the chest here, because that's actually more important in this one. So taking 2 deep breaths here. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in, and on your next exhale, let go of the hands and let the top of the ribs, the middle of the ribs, the lower back, the hips and tailbone meet the ground. Back to Uttanasana, bringing the knees into the chest and rocking from side to side. Giving your back a massage because it deserves it. We've had lots of back stretching today, lots of spine mobility. So taking your legs into a tabletop position now, so your legs are at a 90-degree angle. Taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, allowing the knees to drop to the front. So keeping them together, turning your head to face the opposite direction, keeping the shoulders on the ground. I know. And extending the top leg. You can even grasp the calf or the ankle if you wish and pull it up a bit to get a nice IT band stretch. If any of you are runners, this will be good for you. You'll feel that in the glute as well. A lovely juicy stretch there in the glute. Bringing the knees back together. And now breathing in, and as you breathe out, engage the oblique muscles. So the sides of the body, the abs and the sides of the body, and squeeze those in order to bring your legs back up to the center. Take a deep breath in here and exhale the legs to the other side. Again, stretching out that top leg if you wish. If you want it a bit more, then you can take your hands to your calf or your ankle, however long your arms or legs are. Giving that leg a nice stretch. Breathing in, letting the knees come together, taking another inhale here, and switching on the abs, squeezing the side abs, the obliques, to bring your knees up to the center, and just this time exhale to follow through to the other side. So bringing your legs back to the front, stretching out that top leg if you wish, and turning your head towards the back. Breathing the knees together, breathing in, breathing out to squeeze the obliques, to lift the legs, and exhale to carry on that journey and let your legs lower on the other side. Then taking the upper leg and stretching it out. Just releasing into this lovely stretch. Bring the knees back together, and a final exhale legs back to tabletop, and then take the inside or the outside of your feet, tailbone down to the ground, and just bringing your legs up so we're in happy baby pose. You can rock from side to side here if you wish, just allowing a release of the back, stretching out the hip adductors. And if you want a bit more, if you want to stretch the hamstrings, straighten out your legs. And bringing the soles of the feet back together and placing them on the ground. So you've got like a diamond shape here. Taking each elbow with the opposite hand, extended butterfly. Breathe in deeply here and exhale to let go. Deep inhale and exhale. So now we come to relaxation. So it's time to grab your blanket if you're using one. You can turn the lights down low if you wish. And then come back to a nice lying down position. Or you can sit down if that works better for you. I'm going to stay seated just so it's easier for me to talk to you. Otherwise I would be joining you for a nice lie down. So this is the time that's just for you to completely let go, to absorb the benefits of this practice. And anyone who's in the room with you can also lie down with you if they wish. Cats and dogs and children and partners, everyone can join in this part. This is an exercise that everyone can do. If you've got any problems with your back, you might want to bend your knees so that the soles of your feet are on the ground. Or you could even place your feet up on a chair so that your legs are in that tabletop position but supported. So wherever you are, taking a nice deep breath here and saying as you breathe out. So high-ing the breath out. Scrunching up the muscles in the face, scrunching up the muscles in the hands and the feet and the lower legs and the thighs, your bum, your belly, your shoulders, your arms, squeezing everything as tightly as you can. Hold it tight. Let go. And just let yourself be completely cradled by the earth. Nothing to do but be here just for these few moments. You can completely relax. Breathing into the abdomen, feeling it rise. And as you breathe out, really notice the sense of letting go. Noticing the chest rise and fall. Letting the legs be open, so letting the feet flop out, the knees open. Letting the elbows be on the ground with the backs of the hands down, touching the ground, the mat, and the palms be open. Letting the chest be open. Softening the jaw. Letting the buttocks just melt into the ground and relaxing the lower back. Sending breath all the way down to your toes. Letting the feet relax and soften. Relaxing the ankles. Allowing the calf muscles to just soften and melt into the ground. Letting the knees relax. Letting the thigh muscles relax. The tops of the thighs. Feeling that contact of the ground with the backs of the thighs and the buttocks, and just letting them soften and relax. And even if you feel like you can't relax your body anymore, take a deep breath in and soften, deeply and comfortably relaxed, completely relaxed. Completely relaxed and drifting into a warm, pleasant state of relaxation. Soft belly, soft back, soft chest. Every out breath allows you to settle and relax a little bit more. Letting the shoulders drop down and the arms be heavy, heavy and relaxed. Fingers and palms soft and open. Imagine the breath traveling down your arms through your shoulders and reaching your fingertips. Breathing back in through your fingertips. Soft body, soft heart, soft mind. Noticing any discomfort that arises and greeting it as you would a friend who's in difficulty. Seeing if you can welcome all aspects of your experience, distraction, contentment, challenge or joy equally. Softening the jaw and the cheeks, letting the tongue rest in the mouth comfortably. Soft eyes and soft brow. A sense of smoothing the scalp, letting the neck be long and comfortable, letting the throat be soft and relaxed. And now just resting, just being. Just breathing. Checking in with how you're feeling. Not searching for answers, but just allowing whatever your experience is to be there. And when you feel ready, when it's time for you, gently begin to move your fingers. Gently begin to move your toes And just notice how that feels, the introduction of a little movement. Perhaps you want to circle your hands, the wrists, the feet and ankles. You might like to take a big full body stretch. Just acknowledging the body that's turned up for you today. Having a sense of appreciation for your body. A sense of gratitude to yourself for taking this time out to nurture yourself. And when we nurture ourselves, we can be there for others. And in your own time, when it feels right for you, rolling onto one side and placing your hands underneath the side of your face, making a little pillow for them. And then, again in your own time, keeping the eyes closed, bringing yourself to a seated position. Keeping the eyes closed and rubbing the hands together, generating warmth in your hands. When they're nice and warm and toasty, place them over your face, stroking your face gently with the warm hands. And then place the hands with the fingers together over your eyes. Opening the eyes and gently parting the fingertips. Slowly bring your hands away from the face. Thank you for joining me for Mindful Body. I hope you have a lovely night's sleep, and I'll hang out here for 5 minutes if anybody wants to give any feedback, ask any questions or anything like that. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you. So feel free to unmute yourself if you wish to.
Thanks, Beck.
Thank you. I'm turning the music down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Beck.
Thank you for coming.
Was that Erica?
Yeah,
Oh, you're still there?
yeah.
Hello.
Hi, you all right?
Yeah, getting better at this, I think, a bit.
Yeah, good.
Whose first time was that? Was that your first time, Nicola and Bruce?
No, not. I've been here once before.
Oh yeah, a few weeks ago, yeah.
We can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, you can use the chat box if you want to. You're not muted, but we can't hear you for some reason.
Nice to meet you, Bruce.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you all as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get some dinner now.
Okay.
Same here, I'm off. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks, Beck.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye, Lee.
So sorry.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Did you just say something there, Jem?
Yeah, I was just saying so sorry I disappeared halfway through. The kids were just...
Oh no, I've recorded it. Oh, in fact, I'm still recording, so I'm going to stop recording it.